Good evening. My name is Charlie Williams, and I'm your host. And today, today we going live today, and we have a special guest today, Mr. Ron Green. We are currently at the Boys and Girls Club, and I got a couple questions for you today.
Yeah.
And you are a family man, you are an executive coach, a CEO, and influence of many. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Green.
Yeah. So first, let me just say, man, I just been impressed uh, with the grind, uh, with how you've been moving in the community. I'm one that always, before I shine light on myself, I like to shine light on others that are doing great in the community. I think that's an example for others to follow. It is, you dream and you work to achieve that dream, or you work to birth that dream. And man, I'm just proud of you. I've been knowing you since you was a little youngster in middle school, actually, and just seeing your matriculation to the man that you are. So I'm Ron Green. I'm the CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of the Tar River region. Um, my beginnings to get in that seat was one of happenstance, right? So, I mean, at one point in time, I had an opportunity to play a professional sport. I ended up playing professional baseball in the Cubs organization. And I was volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club. Kids weren't playing baseball anymore in the neighborhood where I grew up in Mississippi. And I wanted to try to get more young people acclimated to baseball and getting them back out there. And I know we were talking about that earlier about young men, in the black community not playing anymore. So I got out there and started playing, getting them to play baseball, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the idea of giving back and helping to grow a better future for our community, which I grew up in. And next thing I knew, I had a career in Boys and Girls Club, and I was getting paid to play a game, and then I started getting paid to play games at Boys and Girls Club. So 22 years later, still doing it.
Okay, that's great. And you said, so growing up, what was the mindset and the core values that you had of now as being a CEO? What was some of those values and the mindset that you had to develop throughout your journey growing up?
Great question. Growing up in my community, it was kind of like growing up here, right? I've been here 9 years, and I see some of the same similarities in the community. I grew up in a community that was mostly people who look like me. And when I'm not saying just males, I'm saying black people in general.
Right.
And there were a lot of cycles in the community. You grow up, lived in the housing community, what we call the housing projects. Lived in the projects, and it was like you grow up, you have kids, and you get your own apartment in the projects, right? The housing projects wasn't created to keep people there for generations. It was created as temporary housing until you find housing, right? And it's changed over the years to say, hey, this is a permanent residence. And it never was created to be a permanent resident. Well, I saw so many people around me seeing that as a way of life, right? They wanted to, and then if you're living in the housing authority, that means that you only make a certain amount of money.
Exactly.
And your mind gets trapped there. You say, hey, this is all that I can be. So it's like we say it's a cycle, right? It's a cycle. Your mom lived there, or grandma lived there, mom lived there, and then you live there.
That generation.
Yeah, and that's what I saw. That's what we saw in our community. Like when I go back to Mississippi, most of my closest friends are people who I grew up with around in the projects, right? We know their grandmamas, we know their mamas, their aunts, because they all live there.
Yeah.
One of the things my mom used to always tell us was, we want you to know this is a hand up, not a handout. I don't want you to get used to this. And, and you really had to, in your mind, you had to really say, okay, this is possible. Because you see it around us and it looked like it's impossible.
Yeah.
But, and I wore the shirt today saying, impossible, saying, it's I'm possible. And you have to have that mindset to be able to say, I'm possible. My dreams are possible. And if I don't work to achieve them, then you are right. They say that the person, You know, that the person who, how it goes, that said, the person that say I can't is both right. You know, the person say I can, and how it go. But if you in your mind you say I can't, you're right. You can't. But if you say I can, and then you got to move towards, you know, towards that as well. And that's kind of how we, you know, my mom pushed me. I tried to push it on down to my nephews and my cousin, and some of my other family members, just pushing it down. And then after I got involved in the Boys and Girls Club, man, it was like, what led me to making it a career is that I had so many young people that I could, you know, instill those type of values in, that I saw a lot of my family didn't take heed to, right?
Yeah.
So I knew it was tough, you know, and getting here, I just saw the same thing. You know, I saw a lot of young people here that live, I mean, they look like they was following some of those same cycles. So when I say, well, okay, we're not just going to break cycles, we're going to create new cycles, you know, kind of like what you do, you know, we talking about Road to Souls, you know, we create new cycles, right?
Exactly, yeah.
These are new ways that we have people to come up and say, I want to be like them. You know, it's not the old cycles where saying, okay, we're going to live in these certain neighborhoods that have inadequate housing. You know, people are there and don't have, you know, some, you know, what is lights not on, running water, whatever it may be. You know, we know we have a lot of these inadequacies in our community. So let's create some new cycles and saying, nah, this is what it should look like because we have those capabilities versus over here. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
What are some of those generational, like the cycles, generational cycles that you have that help those cycles in the Boys and Girls Club, the Tar River region?
Yeah. So my uncles, my cousins, all of them that were close, man. All of them, it was like the rite of passage was, I'm gonna get in trouble and I'm gonna go to training school. I'm gonna hit. In Mississippi, you got like two big ones, right? You got you have Oakley is the second one. I can't remember the first one, but it's like you're gonna go to there, then you're gonna go to Oakley, then the next step is you going to Parchment. So you're going to prison the next step. So I was like, everybody was doing that. So, you know, my mom, you know, she was like, man, y'all ain't following that. So sports kind of kept us out.
Right.
But when I got the Boys and Girls Club, I started seeing, because we had so many kids in here who had parents, who brothers was in prison, who parents were in prison and all that. And I was like, nah, that's not a cycle that you want to continue. You can break that by creating a new cycle of somebody in our family now. We go to college or we go to trade school, we go to military, and one of those things that we might go to. So these are new cycles, right?
Yeah.
The old cycle was the streets was, you know, was what we do. The next step is, you know, training school, youth detention centers, prison.
Yeah.
You know, we have to break those things, you know, because a lot of our communities that we live, you know, especially like I grew up in, that was the outcome that was presented, right? If you want to make some money, you want to go to the corner, right? If you want a nice car, you may have to rob or work, you know, a job that's really not paying you much, and you're going to be in that factory forever, right? And those are kind of things that we saw in our community, and we were like, man, we're supposed to have more.
Yeah, it's another way.
Yeah, it's another way.
Yeah.
What's promised to me is much greater than what I'm seeing right now. And I feel like, you know, being a spiritual person, I don't think God want me to struggle like that. I don't think He would want me to live in an environment like that if I don't have to, right?
Right.
Now, when I was young, I had to live in that type of environment. When I got older, I was like, I ain't got to live there. That don't mean I can't come back there, but I don't want to live there, right? So I wanted more for myself. I wanted more for my family. I didn't want my family, you know, my kids to grow up and say, you know, they have to live like I did. They ain't have to not have food in the refrigerator, you know, or have your lights turn off every other month. I didn't want them to experience that. I did that for them, right? And not by choice, but because, you know, the situation with my parents and my dad, you know, he made some mistakes and put us in those situations.
Yeah.
You know, he made some bad choices, but I look back over it and I say, well, you know, what was his father in his life? One in his life. So a lot of those that growing up, he did it, you know, living with his grandparents, and a lot of the mistakes he made was just because he didn't have the examples of saying, this is the way you should go. You know, somebody has to help guide you, lead and guide you, right? And a lot of times these young people in our community, man, they don't have that. So they become their own teacher. You know, I have this thing, I say, I became my father's father. You know?
That's real. That's real. Cause I'm in the same situation, because we start basically having an open mind about, you know, just learning like having, cause you know, having a father, it's like once they up in age, it's like they start getting closed minded, or they don't want to learn nothing else. They feel like they lived all their years.
Mm-hmm.
But us, like, just coming up now, it's like it's always something to learn, and it helps you to be a step ahead of your father.
Yeah.
And he just started becoming the inspiration. We started becoming the inspiration for them.
Yeah.
Now, you know, we got to teach. Yes, definitely. Definitely.
So I went from my father asking my father for money to get something to eat to him asking me for money to get something to eat, right?
Yeah.
Or asking him for money to help buy something I need to him asking me for money to buy stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it became like I was like his father.
Yeah.
He coming to me. You know, I remember, man, right before, you know, about a couple months before he died, you know what I'm saying? We were sitting there and we were having a conversation. And he looked at me and said, man, I'm proud of you. I said, appreciate you, man, you know. And he was like, man, he said, just don't make those mistakes I made.
Yeah.
You know, that hit me right there, because, you know, I used to hold on to the mistakes he made, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, I used to be angry at him because I didn't see him, you know, like, why we had to get our lights turned off, but you went out and kicked it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
why we don't have no food in the house, but you was out kicking it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those are the type of things that I was angry at him about. But then I said, dang, what was my father's father in his life?
Yeah.
I saw my dad's father, shoot, man, when I was grown. First time I saw him. You know what I mean? Didn't have no relationship with him. But, you know, I tried to get a relationship later on, but then it was too late. He passed away. But, you know, so what was the lineage, right?
Yeah.
What was those rites of passage that were passed down that say, this is your progression to being a quote unquote man versus, are you in this on your own? You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want that for my family.
Right. So that was motivating. So you saw the root of everything, that you became more peace with that when you saw why he the way he is.
Yeah. So I kind of saw those things and saying, man, you know, a lot of times you can't hold people accountable for the things that they have. Like if that's the only thing they know, right? It's hard to hold them accountable for it because they don't know nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was until later on in life when he started seeing things different, right? He was spending more time with my daughter than he was spending time with us when we were little, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he might come to all our games and all that stuff, but shoot, he taking my daughter to McDonald's play on the slide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Getting her ice cream every other day.
Yeah.
But that was his way of just saying, I know I made some mistakes, but I'm trying to correct those mistakes, or I'm trying to not continue to make those mistakes. And that's what we got to do in life, man. We make mistakes, but you learn from them, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens is sometimes we repeat those same mistakes because we ain't learning from them.
Right.
Or we don't want to learn from them because, you know, eventually we feel like that mistake can correct itself, or that mistake that we're making will end up being the way. You understand what I'm saying? I might go over here and steal something today and get in trouble, get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of me learning from that, I say, well, next time I ain't gonna get caught because I know that I did wrong last time, right?
Right.
And see, and that's the things that we gotta continue to put in our young people, is that you can make mistakes, but like I say with our juvenile restitution program we try to give young people a second chance to make a lasting impression. I can't give you a second chance to make a first impression because that first impression is already made. That first impression is made, and they're saying that you either broke into somebody's car, you stole from somebody, robbed somebody, whatever it may be. But I'm gonna give you a second chance to make a lasting impression. Now they see you in a different light. Now they see, okay, made a mistake, but now they're gonna grow up to be a contributor to society versus a detriment to society.
So I know you talk about your family. How important is the role, you being a family man, of being a husband,
Mm-hmm.
being a father, like how important that role is to be in your children's lives. Just being an example
Yeah.
for a Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
Just having, it's a lot of single parents out here. Like how it's
Mm-hmm.
important to being as a father, a black father in your children's lives.
So, I always say, okay, it's not okay to have a kid by this person, this person, this person, this person, and don't take care of none of them. It's not okay,
Right, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So we got to start saying these are the things that are not okay in our community. When we look back and we say, your boys brag about, yeah, man, I got a little shorty over here, I got a little shorty. That's we can't brag about those things because it ended up tearing our community up more than it helped us, right?
Absolutely.
Now, there's no knock on the man that got a kid here and here and take care of all their kids. But at the same time, or from them.
Mm-hmm.
I know what that's going to be like when they see, and they say, okay, that's my dad, but my dad living over here and he's sharing, I'm my dad. I want more of my dad, right?
Yourself around.
Yeah, you spread. What we say about spreading yourself too thin, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that mistakes are going to be made, a lot of mistakes. But my thing is try not to make those mistakes that continue to linger and be detrimental to my family.
Mm-hmm.
You atone for your mistakes, whatever it be, right? So as kids, I want them to understand we all gonna make mistakes.
Right.
None of us perfect.
Perfect. Exactly.
But how do you continue how do you rectify those mistakes so that they don't be lasting and detrimental to your family or detrimental to the community? How do you do that? And I always try to get people to understand, and is be the best you can be, to be the best version of you. I don't want my kids to be just like me, because I'm me.
Mm-hmm.
Now you may see some of me in them, but I need them to be them. And along with that is, okay, my daughter may put the toilet paper on the thing, and the roll may come down like this. I may like it the other way.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean that we so different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even we blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we got to understand and start celebrating the difference of others too, right?
That's very important. Yeah.
I think we don't do that enough in our communities. It's because somebody is different. Say we were talking about baseball earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times young boys, man, they get clowned if they playing baseball and not basketball and football, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we go back and we look and say, man, why you didn't continue to play baseball? Because a lot of times that wasn't
the popular.
Because you different.
Uh-huh.
Nah, you shouldn't go out there and play that. That's a white boy sport.
Right. The narrative on that, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. We shouldn't. We should celebrate the differences of others. Your style, I know a lot of times your style of dress, my style. A lot of people might not dress like that, right?
Yeah.
But that don't mean there's nothing wrong with it, right? It's that you different.
Yeah, that's what make you like that. Yeah, exactly.
And be the best version of that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a father, be the best version of you as a father. You can't try to be like, Mr. Jones down the street,
Mm-hmm.
who is an example. Like I always tell y'all when y'all say, man, I want to be like you when I grow up. No, man, I want you to be better than me, right? Be better than me. You got to build off of it and get better. You got to get better. You got to get better. That's how you want to do, because you want to improve. Like it's like a product, right? You want to improve on the product every year. You want, however you do the product, you say, how can we get better? Well, we got to do that also in our community. How does the man in our community get better?
Right.
Instead of falling back into some of those old things that everybody is used to seeing, how do we get better? So if I'm the standard, how do you get better than me? How to be better than me? Hey, I'll be the standard if you want me to be the standard, the measuring stick.
Yeah.
How do you surpass me though? Let me give you what I got, and then you add on to it, because you.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm looking for you to be better than me, right? As far as it pertains to the community and to your family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want you to be the measuring stick, the next measuring stick.
Yeah, exactly. We're not gonna be here forever. We're not gonna be here forever. We can't hold information. None of that. We just gotta, everything we get, wisdom, whatever it is, just take it down the line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, because see, you're gonna have some thoughts and beliefs on things that I didn't have. You're going to study and see things, be exposed to things that I wasn't exposed to. Those type of things going to make you better. And that's what I want to see. I say, okay, how do you get the next generation to become better than the last generation? Okay, we pass that knowledge on, and we lift them up. We don't stand on their shoulder; they stand on ours, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what our mindset in our community a lot of time is. Because I'm older than you, you stand under me.
Yeah, that's pride talking.
Yeah.
That's pride, yeah.
So you sit at my foot until you learn, and then I put you on my shoulders, right?
Yeah.
That's how we should be doing. You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
absolutely. So what are some, like, how do you like your peace when it comes to all these responsibilities? What you do wise, like just finding your peace with all of the responsibilities that you had.
Yeah. So the first thing is my time, spiritual time in the morning. You know, getting my peace with God, right? Saying, okay, saying how thankful I am for where I am. The other thing I like to do is to motivate my mind to produce brilliant thoughts. And that's listening to other folks, right?
Yeah.
See, I don't just listen to Eric Thomas or Les Brown, all them. I listen to Charlie too, right?
Yeah.
Because you're younger than me and may not have as much experience, but you still got something I can learn from, right? Then the other thing is I like to get out there and get on that road bike, get that bike, and get that peace out there, get out there, ride out there in the country, and let my mind be free. I ain't got to worry about it because I got to concentrate on this road. I got to concentrate on the guys that's riding with me, making sure everybody's safe. I ain't got time to be thinking about what I got to do, a deadline I got to meet, because I want to get back safe. So those are the things that help me keep, as they say, keep your sanity. But I would say it helped me keep my peace with myself and what I'm committed to doing.
Like your therapy, right?
Yes, my therapy. Yeah.
I remember we had a conversation through Instagram, and you was like, "There's no coincidence," and we was talking about the angel number 444.
Yeah.
But like, elaborate on that.
Yeah. So there's no coincidence. Everything is happenstance, right? It's happened at the time that it should happen. So when you see things, you say, hey, people say, man, it was such a coincidence I ran into you. No, I ain't a coincidence I ran into you. I needed to run into you at that time, right? Like at the coffee shop, man, it was at Tracks one day, and I was ordering my little drink, right? I order the same drink almost every day. When I come in and do something different, it shock them, right? I order a dirty chai latte with almond milk, one shot, in there, and every time I walk in, they get ready. They practice on making my drink, right? But the number come up on there is 444. So I was like, dang, 444, and I'm number thing. So I was like, what's that? And the girls kept saying 444. They was getting excited. I was like, why are you getting excited? It's like, it's the angels. You got, some spiritual, being watching over you, right? So I was like, wow, this is making me aware of that.
Yeah.
So if I'm aware of it, then I share that, right? I share that. So that means I need to be a blessing to somebody today, however that may be, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's through the Boys and Girls Club, we're going to bless some kids or something, or some families, or it's going to be a blessing because I may see Charlie and see him doing something. I might need to give him that word of encouragement to keep going. Keep doing it, man. I see you out there. Keep grinding. That's what that's all about. Is okay, it's happening to me. Now I need to give it to somebody else.
Yeah. So the quote, obstacles leads opportunity. Talk more about that, man.
Yeah, man. So if you're in the road, right? You walking in the road. All right, I give you kind of a story, a parable about, well, not really a parable, but is it right? He put this huge boulder in the middle of the road. Everybody that walked down, all the people that lived in the village and stuff, and they would go by and they saw that boulder, and all they could do was complain, walk around. Why is this boulder right here, the king? Why he moved this boulder? It's just in the way. It's obstructing the traffic. We walk in here, we got to walk around. Oh, listen. So one day this guy was walking. He said, "Man, I'm tired of seeing this boulder here. Nobody won't move it." So he pushed the boulder. It was an obstacle that was in the way, but he moved it. But when he moved it, there was a bag of gold sitting there that the king had put there saying, okay, if anybody moved this, they'll give you a bag of gold, right? So there was an obstacle there, but it led to an opportunity. And I think sometimes we see obstacles and we use them as crutches, right? Or things that keep us down. Man, I'm going to complain about it, right? Instead of looking at it and say, okay, this is an opportunity. All right, this is maybe an opportunity for me to do something different. Or like you say, you at your job, right? You working, you like, man, my supervisor, man, he tripping every day. You know what I'm saying? But that may be the obstacle that leads you to your opportunity and saying, maybe this ain't for me.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to go a different direction, right? You know, and that's kind of in life, right? We use obstacles as crutches versus saying an obstacle can be an opportunity. So I may climb over the boulder and then start to see something far ahead that I couldn't even see because I was too low to the ground.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So now I'm up there now. Oh, I never even noticed that over there. But I never would have saw that if I wouldn't have climbed over the obstacle, right?
Yeah.
And that's how we should do. We should attack our obstacles, you know what I'm saying?
That sounds like fear. You don't know what's on the other side unless you just take action. And you might just, that, like you said, it just leaves.
Yeah. So, fear, I mean, it's just like, and I hate to, to even get into the whole thing with the pandemic, but the pandemic struck so much fear in people. But I saw it as opportunity for us, right? For the organization, I saw it as an opportunity,
Yeah.
I saw it as an opportunity to tighten up our safety around here, I saw it as an opportunity to bring our families closer to the club. I saw it as an opportunity to help feed the community, right? I saw it as an opportunity to help our young people to get that creative, the entrepreneur mindset in them. All those things. I saw it as an opportunity for us. I can't look at it and say, woe is me. But I also saw it as an opportunity to get closer to our kids as far as their schoolwork because we opened up our clubs for, remote learning. So kids were here, so we were able to see and get closer to them versus that 2 hour window that we have to help them with their homework. So I saw it like that. And I think we hide behind fear so much and use fear as an excuse versus saying, let's tackle it.
Yeah.
Take it head on. You play football, if you go in the game scared, you ain't gonna have no good game. But I go in the game saying, bro, they better be fearing me instead of be fearing them.
You gotta build your confidence up in some type of way so you can face that fear, like you said. Face that fear head on. So yeah, most definitely.
So and this is another thing that leads to opportunities too. So say know your role, know your responsibility, and then take advantage of the opportunities that you see, right? So if you know your role and you know your responsibilities, opportunities will present themselves. So that's why I tell young people, okay, if you want to play football, yeah, you go out there. If you play receiver, know your role. The receiver is not the lineman. Know your role. Then you know your responsibility. What I'm supposed to do on this play, what I'm supposed to do on this play, or this down, this, and all that. Because there's going to always be opportunities throughout the game, right? All right. Say, for example, you're on the field, right? You're playing slide. You're supposed to go and take a fake. Y'all do that little fake when you run through and you fake the handoff here and hand it somewhere else.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, the quarterback take the ball and he turn and slip out of hand. You know your role. You're the receiver, right? Slide. Your responsibility is take this motion, take the man with you when you go that way so it can lead his end open over here and they're going to come back this way. But all of a sudden the ball dropped, popped up. Now I got an opportunity in my hands to pick it up and do something with it, to turn a negative into a positive. That's how we got to start seeing life. It's the opportunities, can be negatives into a positive. That's how I saw a negative is turning into a positive, right? Yeah.
What's your leadership style like towards like the community?
Yeah.
Not just here, but just being an impact on all men. Yeah. What is your leadership style?
Yeah, I definitely operate off the servant leadership style. I like serving first. That's why you'll see me. You'll see me in the community handing out plates or whatever, or you might see me out there passing out the book bags, or you might see me out there setting up and all that. Yeah, I'm the CEO. I don't have to do it. I do it because I want to do it, because I feel like everyone that's if I'm serving you, then you would get more respect back to whatever I'm doing, right? It's value in everything, right? How do you increase that value? Well, if somebody say for example a pair of shoes, right?
Right.
You ain't never heard of them shoes before, and you looking at them like, man, I don't know about them shoes right there. But then if you see somebody like, for example, a Deion Sanders maybe wearing those shoes, and you say, oh, they must be something Deion wearing them, or LeBron James. Oh, LeBron wearing them, they must be. So all of a sudden they gave them value, because if as the CEO, if I'm out there and I'm putting my hand, the next man beside me saying, if he can do it, I'm gonna do it too. If he's willing to get out here and do it, hey, I'm gonna get my time up too. You know what I mean? And I think that's what we need to see more of in our leadership in our community, is more servants in our community versus, more of the dictator type style, or, leadership.
What are your plans on just bettering the community around here? Like, what are your plans? Like, do you have any future plans or anything?
It's just really continue to grow the young people in here to be the next generation, right? Like I said, I've been here 9 years.
Yeah.
That's 9 years of influence on young people. Allowing when they were young, like yourself, Alanis, and all them, man, y'all are getting ready y'all the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Y'all the people, and it's time for y'all. Hey, age don't leadership has no age limit.
Indeed.
Has no age limit, and I think that's the mindset. But brilliance don't have an age on it. Some of the greatest inventors out there, some of the wealthiest people out there right now, are your age. And if they're your age, that means that brilliance don't have an age limit. Then why we're not tapping into that?
Right.
Right. I need to hear from you. I need to hear what you think. I may have more of the means to get it done, but that don't mean you might just need me to help you get it done. I gotta talk about birthing dreams, right? When I say I dare you, right? I dare you to dream.
Yeah.
Well, you can birth it, but sometimes you're gonna need somebody to help you birth it. That's why I say the A is for ask, right? Ask the questions. You might have to ask me to help you. And if you ask me to help you, and if I really believe in you and see you and know your dream, then I should help you.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is to be relentless. Be the one that try to kill your dream because you asked me to help you with your dream. I got to help you birth your dream. So I can't. You're gonna be relentless. I can't kill your dream. I can't be the dream killer, because there's too many of them out there that are gonna try to kill your dream before you can get started. And then the last thing is you got to be exhausted. You got to be exhausted. Your grind got to be so hard that you be like, man, at the end of the night, you saying, hey, I know I ain't get but 3 hours of sleep, but look what I accomplished in the amount of time I stayed up. You know what I mean? Like they say, David Shan say, sleep is for suckers, right? He said grind, right? But we know we need sleep for health reasons. Why? Reasons. But that's how it should be for you when you say, man, this is how I'm dreaming, right? This is what I see. That's why I say I shoot you a message, say, hey, let me know how I can help you.
Yeah.
But you got to be sincere with that. You know what I mean? And say, hey, I want to help you because I can't do it by myself. I don't care how hard I grind and how much I do it, boys and girls. I can't do it by myself. And there's others that have to step up and do it, you know what I'm saying, and be there and take a hold of the reins sometimes. Like you say, when you drive, you got a long trip, you get tired. Guess what? Whoever rides,
hey, you got any help?
Yeah, because the goal is the same, right?
Yeah. Anything else you want to share to the people, or any new dare that you came up with?
Yeah, man. I guess the thing I just want to say is I want to see more people just step out there and be themselves. And like I say, be the best version of you. And the only way you're gonna be able to do that is you gotta do some soul searching to see who you are. There's too much, and it's not just here. There's a lot of places where we're trying to conform people to be who we think they should be, versus allowing them to use their super. I had a group today I was working with from the Edgecombe Early College, and I was asking them what's their favorite hero and why. Right? And they would say stuff like the Flash because he fast, or Iron Man because he cool, he have money, you know, all this kind of stuff. Thor because he's strong. Okay, well, what's your superpower? Superpowers don't have to be that you can fly or you can pick up a whole building. I can have a superpower because I can negotiate the deal better than somebody else. Yeah. I can have a superpower that says I'm a common spirit, so if you need to talk through some things, I can talk through with you because I got a common spirit, you know, and I'm able to help you to calm down and rationalize, right?
Yeah.
Or I might be one that can write really good. You know, it's just, what's your superpower? And I think a lot of times we don't work to develop those things. Once we figure them out, or we think they are, and we don't have nobody to help us to develop them. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help people develop those superpowers and really to birth who you can and should become, right?
That sounds like purpose.
Yeah.
Finding your purpose, that's your superpower.
And you know, and the thing about it is, you just think about this. You think about your circle, right? You can't be the smartest person in your circle. You can't be. If you're the smartest person in your circle, you got to find you some more people be in your circle, or you got to find you a new circle. Everybody has to contribute to this, right? All your boys they got their things that makes them unique. Their own superpower. Yeah. But I need your superpower. Like I used to have a board member used to say, Ron, you know, you're our Superman. I said, yeah, but even Superman needs some super friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you need some super friends, right? I need some super friends. And I think that what makes us all better, and I think that'll make our community better. If we have a vision, we have some goals, and we put the right superheroes together to make sure we accomplish it.
Indeed. Greatly appreciate you for joining the show, Mr. Green. There you have it. This is Road to Soulace. Make sure you tune in and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Road to Soulace Podcast. Stay tuned for more.